model to his two beautiful sons. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you love him. We all love him. He is the brand ambassador of Gillette India and the man who exemplifies the values of inner steel. Please welcome Rahul Dravid. Rahul, always a pleasure to meet you.
Lovely to see you.
He is thorough gentleman, exemplifies inner steel values. He is, actually there's no better fit for Gillette than a man like him. So we'd like to know, to begin with, your thoughts on this initiative.
I think it's a fantastic initiative. I think all of us have that memory. I think every one of us have that memory of growing up and watching our fathers shave, and sort of sneaking in and watching him shave every day, and especially me and my brother, just watching my father shave every day, and just sort of wondering when would we grow up, and when would we get the chance to shave, and that almost seemed like a sort of rite of passage that you sort of, I'm a grown-up man now, I can actually use my father's razor and shave. And he always used, and just use, his razor. So I think it's a fantastic initiative because it recognizes that relationship, it recognizes that bond, it recognizes so many things, about a father-son relationship.
We'll talk about your relationship with your father. We have on previous occasions as well, but Father's Day has just gone by, and what did your sons do for you on Father's Day? What did they do for their dad? And what kind of relationship do you have with your two beautiful sons?
It's a fantastic relationship. I'm learning a lot about, you suddenly feel a lot more responsible about everything you do. I think, you suddenly realize that your children are watching you and your two sons are watching everything you do and everything you say. Even a small thing like driving the car and whether you stop at a red light and what things that you do, they watch all your actions. And I think that's something that I've learned from my father, that you sort of watch so much. And he was not about giving big speeches or big lectures. My father was never one for that. But he was someone who I think I could learn a lot from just following what he did, and the way he led his life and the simplicity with which he led his life, I think was a great lesson for me. So it's just something that I'm conscious of as a father myself, that my children are growing up and they're watching everything that I do.
Well, you've been a role model for so many young boys and men even before you became a father. So was that transition easy? When I'm a dad, well, I've been a role model for lots of young boys, and I've behaved myself.
No,
and
I think it's a lot different because I think when you're, when you're in a public space and you're playing it's a lot more a controlled environment. So you're in control of whatever you're saying and doing a lot more than you are at home. So I think it's a lot more tougher at home. And I think, your children challenge you as well. They will push back and they will challenge you and they will say, why? And my elder son is growing old enough to now question and ask questions. So it is a lot more difficult and it is a lot more challenging, but also, hugely enjoyable and great fun.
Now tell me about, you've always had a very close and warm and a wonderful relationship with your father. What kind of a role model was he to you?
Look, I think just from, even just from a cricketing perspective, my father was a huge role model because, my earliest memories are actually of him, we had a black transistor radio at home and of him actually listening to commentary, whether it was, India playing in the West Indies and listening to Gavaskar score 100 or India playing in England. In those days, my dad would tune on to the radio and he would listen to the commentary and just I would sit with him and listen to him and he would tell me stories, and Sunil Gavaskar was his sort of he was a big fan of Sunil Gavaskar. So he would tell me stories about Gavaskar and what Gavaskar did in '71 and how he's grown up. So I think even from those young days, just that inspiration and the passion for the game is something that I imbibed from him and learned from him. I mean, even when he had leave and he had a weekend off, and if there was even a Ranji Trophy match in Karnataka, my dad would take me to watch Vishwanath and Brijesh Patel play, or Chandrasekhar bowl, or Prasanna bowl. So I have memories of way back as a 5-6-year-old kid going to the KCA Stadium to watch Ranji Trophy matches. So I think I owe a huge debt in that sense to him in terms of just giving me the love and a passion for the game. And I think that's something that sort of came true from him.
That's the super talented. Right. Okay. Arbaaz, your true hero, your guiding light, your role model in every sense.